Spit bars, I stand behind mine. Yeah. Sentences I serve, maximize guidelines. My lawyer can't give me his advice when these beasts that I murder carry mandatory minimums of life. Yikes. In case you didn't get the point, we spit bars.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Maximum Sentence, where there's conviction behind the bars. I'm your man AJ Throwback. Great to be here with you on another awesome Wednesday, where we are continuing our breakdown of my latest single, Chasing Maria. But before we go any further, if this is your first time experiencing any of my content, please make sure that you like, comment, share, and of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit that bell notification so that whenever I go live, post a new video, premiere a new video, you'll be among the first to know. Now, let's go ahead and get into some of these really simple comments this week, but always appreciate the comments from those who support this platform. So shout out to my homie T from the streets, who says, keep up the amazing work, fam. 9 Real, really love what you're doing. 9 Real T from the streets. Thank you so much, my brother. And of course, I support everything that you're doing with your movement as well. The next comment comes from my sis, Ansley Jukebox Joy, who says, really dope breakdown. Love the song. Thank you so much. I definitely appreciate it. You were one of the first ones who were on it when I dropped the song, so I definitely appreciate all of your support as always. And shout out to my brother Mike Mountain with the last comment, who says, yo, I feel this story for real, for real. Hashtag nostalgic, hashtag puppy love, hashtag memories. Absolutely. You know, the beautiful thing about this song is that it's a fun song, and in a lot of ways it's a little on the bittersweet side, but it's more sweet than bitter the way I look at it, because hey, some people just ain't made for you. All right, so last week we talked about the first verse. So this week we're gonna get into the second verse. Now, to set up the part of the verse that we're gonna focus on, the beautiful thing about the second verse from a lyrical creative standpoint is that I talk about how in the first verse, Maria begins as this girl, this schoolboy crush that I have on this girl in my kindergarten class. But Maria starts to morph into a different person. I start chasing the idea of Maria after I can't chase her anymore, because mind you, I've never seen this girl ever again since kindergarten. You're talking about June 1985. She takes on a different shape. She takes on a different form through all of these other women or these girls that I see throughout my life. It's the same thing. Like, I see the girl, she's really pretty, I'm really attracted to her, I think she's whatever, and they're just not feeling me. So I think this particular block of lyrics is the best place to focus on, so we can kind of sort of break down a timeline of this perpetual chase that happens.
1 minute, her honey brown hair's flowing in the wind. Drop the top on the Miata, going for a spin. Next minute, looking like the newest girl 6. Donuts in the Z, leaving digits in a whirlwind. She's been a caramel, pouty-lipped driver. I'm chasing in a pacer, but she dodged me in a Viper. She turned into a chocolate girl, debonair. I borrowed a Camaro, but a flip was a McLaren. She's even been a redhead, blonde, and a brunette. Bugatti, Maserati, or a product made in Munich.
Let's start from her honey brown hair's flowing in the wind. Drop the top on the Miata, going for a spin. So I mean, you know, every girl kind of sort of attached to like these cool cars that I'm really into, because mind you, like, I'm really into cars when I was a kid. And so like, and I'm into sports cars, mind you. And the funny thing about it is, when I look back on it, like when I was a kid, I was really into sports cars. But as I've gotten older, I'm more of the practical guy. Like, I've kind of settled into who I really am. You know what I mean, in a lot of ways. And it's not to say that I don't have a need for speed, or I'm not like kind of sort of, I don't want to say a daredevil or anything that extreme, but at the same time, I'm also not this super duper fast paced adventurous person. Like, there's a limit for me. It's the balance, because, you know, a lot of people don't realize, you know, I'm in astrology. My moon is Sagittarius. And the thing about a lot of Sagittariuses is that they very much are the adventurous type. But because my sun is Libra, it balances out. So as much as I want to be adventurous, as much as I can be adventurous, there's still a limit to it. And so kind of sort of bringing that back to the whole thing of the chase. It's only but so much chasing I'm going to be able to do. Or it's only so much chasing that I'm going to do. You know what I mean? So all of these women that I'm comparing to these high octane cars, or these cars that are just faster than my normal pace, it's just showing that, they're out of my reach. So honey brown hair flowing in the wind. So that's actually most of these women that I kind of sort of name without naming are a reference to somebody that actually I can pinpoint in my life that I chased or I might have had feelings for, but they weren't feeling me. So it was this one girl, I'm not gonna name her name, we're not gonna do that. But in the 4th grade, I had a crush on this girl. What's funny is that she was a twin. And so her twin, don't get me wrong, her twin was good looking too, but you could kind of sort of tell the difference between the two. At least I could. So I had the crush on the twin that was in my 4th grade class. And so I thought this girl was just, one of the most beautiful girls I'd ever seen. And the thing is, she wasn't that far off in terms of looks from Maria. You know what I mean? And I know y'all probably think, well, you name Maria. Well, that's because the song is called Chasing Maria. You know what I mean? But I ain't got to name everybody or that might be referenced in this song. But anyway, so this girl in the 4th grade, and mind you, 4th grade was probably the worst grade that I experienced in elementary school, other than the 2nd grade. 2nd grade was bad, but 2nd grade was bad because I didn't like my teacher. 4th grade was bad because I didn't like other kids, and other kids clearly didn't like me. And I got in fights in the 4th grade. It was the first time I got into fights. I had never really gotten into fights as a kid. I probably have only gotten into a total of 4 fights in my entire life. And 2 of them happened in the 4th grade. That's the crazy thing about it. So that goes to show you how rough that time was for me. What made matters worse is that I have this crush on this girl who has no rap for me whatsoever. Again, cordial, much like Maria, but just not feeling me, and anytime I tried to, be kind, or anytime I felt like I did too much to try to get her attention. I did too much to try to appeal to her, and it was just not working. And anybody can always tell when somebody is trying way too hard. And that was the situation with this particular girl in the 4th grade. Same thing when you go a couple of bars ahead. Next minute looking like the newest Girl 6, donuts in the Z, leaving digits in a whirlwind. So this particular girl, I compared her to Girl 6, not in the sense of what the character from Girl 6 actually was. She just looked like Teresa Randall to me. And let me tell y'all, any of my fellas out there that, came up in the 90s, remember Teresa Randall from Sugar Hill and a couple of other movies, and of course Girl 6. I'm referencing Girl 6. I felt like her career should have just been even bigger than what it was. When I tell y'all, she was like my TV girlfriend. I wasn't interested in nobody else when Teresa Randall was on the screen. She was it. This girl was like Teresa Randall only when we was in the 6th grade. But much like Maria, much like the honey blonde hair girl that was the twin, this girl had no rap for me. I was trying to, let me tell y'all how bad it was. So I tried to learn dance moves, and I tried to learn probably one of the most Bamified dance moves or dance routines I possibly could. And I learned Rub You the Right Way by Johnny Gill. And some people like Johnny Gill with his non-dancing self. You know what I mean? And I actually knew that dance routine like front to back, every single move. If Johnny Gill would have asked me in 1990 to mimic the dance routine step for step, I would have had it step for step. So I tried to do this to impress this girl. Once again, doing way too much. Perform this joint on the playground, everything. And it was just like, I just made a fool of myself because she just had no rap. It was like, you cool, but I look at you as more of a friend. And again, you know, like we young. You talking about 4th grade, I'm 9 years old. Then you talking about 6th grade, I'm turning 11 years old. So we still young at this point. Relationships, love, all of that type of stuff, it's just heavy. You know what I mean? I was just like this heavy kid that was this hopeless romantic. But look, we was too young. We didn't know nothing about nothing. And then, you know, and then on top of that, I was actually at this point of my life, I was also kind of chubby. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say fat kid chubby, you know what I mean? And I hate really using those terms, but I wasn't slim like I was once I got to say like the 9th grade. Like 9th grade, like I got taller and I got lankier. You know what I'm saying? Like I really felt like I fell into my body type at that point in my life, but not in the 4th grade, not in the 6th grade. And I wasn't really dressing all that great. You know what I mean? This is during the time when my mom, you know what I'm saying, she was buying us Pro Wings and Sauconys and Etonics, you know what I'm saying? Not the Jordans, not the British Knights, not the LA Gears, you know, not the cool shoes, the Reeboks, none of that stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, the Adidas, we didn't have none of them shoes. We had the shoes my mama could afford. We had the bargain bin shoes from the Foot Locker. Anybody know about the Foot Locker on University Boulevard? What's that? By Riggs Road. Over there by TikTok Liquors. I think that's TikTok Liquors. Over there, anybody that knows the DMV, Hyattsville, that whole area, or Langley Park, that whole area, she would take us to the bargain bin to get them shoes. That's the type of swagger that I did not have. So I was on struggle mode for a good little minute. So Caramel Pouty Lip Driver, that is actually a reference to a girl that I met during the summer after my 10th grade year. And so, now granted, I had a girlfriend anyway, so it didn't really matter. But whew, you could not tell me this particular girl. Some of the reasons why I'm not naming some of these girls is because I still know some of these people. I'm still cool with some of these people. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to throw their names out there. They be like, oh, you talking about me? Nah, you'll never know. You'll never know as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, I'm in the Mayor's Youth Leadership Institute. And so this girl was in the institute. That's all I'm going to say. And anybody who's in the institute, you can kind of sort of spin your wheels and try to figure out who I'm talking about. We gonna leave it there. But anyway, we was in the Mayor's Youth Leadership Institute, Mayor Barry's Youth Leadership Institute. Let's make that clear. I thought she was just like bad, like super bad. I thought she was one of the most beautiful women I had ever seen in my life. Y'all see a pattern here. All of these women at these particular points that I think are like the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life. And it's just like nothing. Once again, it's that whole thing. It's like a new and this is a new environment. So I'm really trying to get to know people. I'm really trying to sort of rub elbows with people and make my way. And I'm kind of struggling in the beginning, going back to, I forget, it might have been the conversation about the Lincoln and Lincoln Job Fair. So at this particular point, I'm trying to sit here and make my way. And that's part of me making my way, is trying to make friends, be cool with people. And like I said, I had a girlfriend, didn't really matter, but that was a weird summer with me and the girl that I was dating at that time, because she was in Upward Bound. I was in the Mayor Barry's Youth Leadership Institute. So we didn't really get to talk as much. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think she had to stay on campus, whereas I got to leave campus because she was at Howard, I was at UDC, but we got to leave UDC. I think they had to stay overnight. So it just created this weird dynamic between us. But anyway, this particular girl that I'm feeling, I think she's beautiful. She's a little bit more my speed in terms of complexion, in terms of looks, all of that. But what ended up happening is that I felt like I started chasing girls who looked like her after a while, you know what I mean? And so that's that particular situation. So then it gets really interesting when I get to the part where I say she turned into a chocolate girl, debonair and daring. I borrowed a Camaro, but her flare was a McLaren. Here's something that a lot of people may or may not know about me. I'm not the type of person who harps on preference. You know, some dudes like women with long hair. Some dudes like light-skinned women. Some dudes like women that got top. Some dudes like women that got bottom. Some dudes like women that got both. You know, some dudes prefer just dating outside of their race. Some dudes like the exotic looking women. I've never been the type to say, this is my hard set type. I've never been that guy. But I will say this, I have always had a thing for chocolate women, dark-skinned women, like ever since I was younger, maybe because I grew up in Southeast and that was a good amount. I felt like all of the chocolate girls lived on the South Side. I don't know what that was, but I just felt that way. So it's like I always like kind of sort of had a thing for them. And one of my first girlfriends was chocolate, you know. And it's weird because, you know, this is in the 6th grade. And it's like, what are you talking about in the 6th grade? But I remember us being on the phone for hours, and it wasn't that the whole like you just talking just to talk, or you just listening to each other breathe on the phone. You know, when you in the 6th grade, you 11 years old, it's like, what do you really have a whole lot to talk about? We used to have a lot to talk about, you know. And what's funny is I used to get clowned by my friends because they kind of sort of, well, you know, they clowned us just because we was in a relationship. But at the same time, they tried to come for her because she was darker skinned. I'm like, y'all tripping. She freaking bad. You know what I'm saying? You could not tell me nothing about this girl in the 6th grade. You know what I mean? And so I feel like she kind of sort of also set up a certain taste palette in terms of women. So then we get to the chocolate girl, Debonair and Darren. There was another girl. And once again, another girl I cannot mention by name because I still know these people. You know, it's only like 2 people that I'm mentioning that I don't know anymore. I have not seen since that particular time. But this particular girl, we were, once again, Mayor's Youth Leadership Institute. This is when they changed it because Mayor Barry was no longer mayor anymore, and they tried to, you know, change it for politics and all that nonsense. It should have stayed Mayor Barry's Youth Leadership Institute the entire time, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, so we were both program assistants at the time, and I'm trying to think, did I have a girlfriend? I did have a girlfriend at the time. Once again, I had a girlfriend, you know, but again, it was one of those weird summers because my girlfriend at the time, I want to say she was actually in the city. I want to say she was doing a program at Georgetown. Now, granted, she was from Massachusetts. We went to school in upstate New York, but she was actually down for the summer. And so, but this girl, like, I was seeing, I'm just like, yo, she is so bad. Like, I mean, like, she chocolate, like, she fine. Like, she just like total package perfect, you know what I mean? But I won't say it was one of those things where it's like she wasn't feeling me. It's just because I had a girlfriend, that kind of sort of created a barrier there. But then when I didn't have one, and I think maybe I seen her after the fact, it still was kind of sort of like that chase where it was like, okay, does she like me? Does she even like notice me? Is she feeling me like that? I never shot my shot. And you know, that's part of my problem. I should have shot my shot, especially once I became single, you know, but I just came out of a relationship, and I think a part of me was just trying to recover from that relationship. So it's like, yeah, she was on my radar, but I wasn't really trying to holler at nobody like that anyway. But she was one that it was like, okay, I might have had a chance with her, but I never really shot my shot. I never really know to this day. And a part of me also felt like maybe I wasn't her type because I looked at some of the guys that she was kind of feeling, or it seemed like she was gravitating toward, and you know, they weren't me. I wasn't them. We weren't cut from the same cloth. So then running to the part where I say she's even been a redhead, blonde, and a brunette. That could be really just anybody. Again, I like all types of women. I don't just like black women. I like white women. I like Hispanic women or Latinx women. I like Asian women. I like all types of women. Or I've liked all types of women. I ain't liking nobody because I'm a married man. So, but at the time when I was single, when I was available and on the market, I liked all types of women, you know. And so there were women who fit those particular descriptions. Nobody in particular with the redhead, blonde, and a brunette that I can necessarily pinpoint. But the bottom line is that I'm sure that I had my eyes on a couple who could fit those descriptions. And they were just elusive. But when it comes down to it, the real point is that I used this one girl from kindergarten, and I transfixed that attention that I did not get from that girl and put it into later pursuits. It was like I was trying to overcompensate for not being able to keep pace with this girl in kindergarten. And then it followed me to the 4th grade. And then it followed me to the 6th grade. And then it followed me to summer after 10th grade. Then it followed me to the summer after, I want to say, what was that, my sophomore year? You know, so it followed me in all of these different ways. And these are just examples. These aren't even like all of the examples I could give. These are just the examples in the song. But the point is, a lot of times when you don't resolve whatever issue that you have in terms of attention, in terms of affection, in terms of that whole thing with unrequited affection, attention, infatuation, love, whatever it might be, you find yourself constantly overcompensating in certain ways and trying to chase until you feel like you have obtained or you have caught up to that particular girl or a version of that particular girl, or just somebody that you just feel like is the baddest of the bad. Like if you could get that one baddie, you feel like, okay, I'm winning. But we're gonna leave it here because then that feeds into the part of the song that I'm gonna focus on next week in the third verse. So, did all of that talking about this new single. If you don't have it, if you haven't heard it, please make sure that you do so. Same place where you can actually hear the music. You can actually get batch gear. So you see me in this shirt. Granted, this is not a Chasing Maria related shirt, but it's still batch merch anyway. Make sure that you go to my website, BAMMLLC.net. Once again, that is BAMMLLC.net. Get the music, get the merch all in one place. You get the music. If you want to buy it, you can actually buy it from my website. If you want to stream it, you can go to your favorite streaming site. If you're an Apple person, Tidal person, Amazon person, even if you're on Deezer, you can go to Deezer from my page. Even on Bandcamp, you can stream it on Bandcamp. But if you prefer to support and buy, you can go to Bandcamp. If you want to go directly there, it is ajthrowback.bandcamp.com. Once again, ajthrowback.bandcamp.com. Of course, this single is backed with another single, which we'll be talking about in 2 weeks, called Fashionably Late, featuring my homie Clutch the Rapper. So definitely make sure that y'all check that one out as well. Please support the single. Thank you to everybody who has bought the single so far, streamed the single so far, spread the word. However you've helped in this process, it is much appreciated. And of course, if you are not already tapped in with my YouTube channel, if this is your first time watching me, please make sure that if you love what you're seeing, make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit that bell notification so that whenever I go live, premiere a new video, post a new video, you'll be among the first to know. And of course, if you're not already following me on social media, please do so. I follow back as long as you ain't on no weirdo stuff. We good. You know what I mean? So follow me, please, on Facebook and Twitter. I am at AJ Throwback. But if you are an Instagram or TikTok person, please make sure that you follow me on those platforms as well. I am at a.j.throwback on there. Once again, next week, we're going to be covering the third verse of Chasing Maria, and that's going to wrap up our talk about this particular single. Thank you to everybody who has watched, everybody who has commented, everybody who's just been tapped in with this whole experience of not only releasing music, but of course the Maximum Sentence itself. So until the next time, I want everybody to have a great rest of your week. Have a great weekend. If you have a great 3-day weekend, definitely be safe out there. And I will see y'all next time right here on the Maximum Sentence, where there's conviction behind the bars. I'm your man AJ Throwback, and I will see y'all on the next go round. Y'all be easy. Peace.
Chasing, all I do is chasing. Pedal to the metal, but I can't keep the pace. Won't you slow down, baby, slow down. I wish that you would slow down, baby, slow down.